Hey, good morning, Prague. How are you guys doing? A lot of morning faces. Good job at waking up early. Great. So, as Joe explained, I'm going to be giving a bit of an update about the Lightning Network. Just a little bit about who I am. My name's niftynei. I founded a Bitcoin developer school called Base 58. I started running some Bitcoin plus developer conferences last year, and I've been a core Lightning maintainer for almost 5 years. So today I want to talk to you about payments, specifically about digital payments. So for those of you who kind of know the history of payments, you would know that like back in the day, before computers existed, payments were something with money, and it was something that you physically traded around. With the advent of computers back in like the 60s, for example, payment networks became possible where payments could be made and settled digitally. So, for example, credit card networks were one of the first digital electronic value exchange systems. Most digital payment networks today are owned by banks, and banks get their charters from their governments. This means that most banks pay very close attention to who's transacting on their networks. And the people that participate in them have to be more or less approved by the banks, which in turn is kind of like being approved by the state because the banks get their charters from the state to do business. Payments that are made on these networks tend to be reversible and seizable. So why don't we use cash? Well, cash doesn't work on the internet. And today, more and more of commerce is happening digitally. So this is where Bitcoin comes in, right? Bitcoin fixes this problem. We can transact digitally, and we don't have to rely on states to help us make those transactions go through. Specifically, but Bitcoin, as some of you may know, doesn't scale. So Lightning specifically is kind of our answer to how do we make digital payments in 2023 using an asset that isn't issued by banks or central governments. Cool. So the Lightning Network, where did this come from? It started as a paper in 2015 from Taj Dryja and Joseph Poon. The idea that they came up with was very simple. Let's use off-chain signatures to keep track of Bitcoin balances. So this simple idea launched, I think our first mainnet node was in 2018. This is a photo from, I believe, like maybe late 2018. It says, I don't know, guys, this Lightning Network is getting so huge that when I scroll out, my computer lags. This was I think this was from 2018. This is when the network had almost 1,200 nodes on it. And this network lets you send these digital payments or these off-chain payments kind of long distances between people. So this is a way that Bitcoin can scale privately off-chain. Today, the Lightning Network has almost 12,000 nodes on it. And Lightning is the most decentralized layer 2 scaling crypto solution that exists in the entire space. There's more people actually running Lightning nodes and helping others send and receive private digital payments than in any other system that you'll find anywhere in the world. So that's pretty cool. We've managed to do this in, how long has it been? Almost 5 years since 2018. Also, the amount of Bitcoin that's locked into the network has grown to 5.5 thousand Bitcoin. So the Lightning Network has grown. It's pretty big. One thing that I want you to understand, though, about Lightning as a project is just kind of how special it is, particularly not just among like crypto projects or Bitcoin projects, but really, I think, globally. Lightning is decentralized in a way, like I said earlier, that no other layer 2 really is anywhere in the crypto ecosystem. And it's decentralized all the way to the level of the number of implementations that exist for Lightning. So not only are there 12,000 each independent decentralized nodes running on the network, each of those nodes has a choice of which Lightning implementation that they're going to run. And the reason that we're able to do this is because each of these independent node implementations, that each are written in a different language, they have a different dev team, they have different sources of funding. So Lightning is truly decentralized in the number of people that are working on it. The way that they're able to do this and make a large network that works is through something that we call the Lightning spec process. So this Lightning spec process allows us to create a decentralized ecosystem, not only, again, at the user and the node level, but also at the code level. So it's pretty cool. So these specifications have let us have a decentralized ecosystem, and they're really important for helping us move the network forward together. so that we can coordinate with new features that we bring to Lightning. Cool. So speaking about new features, let's talk a little bit about where Lightning is going. We could talk about how Lightning is rolled out to the world, how different countries are now letting you, different countries now let people check out with Lightning at registers, which is really exciting. We could talk about how web-focused projects are helping bridge the user experience between where people are and how payments are made, like the Lightning address projects, or how new use cases like Noster are popping up that integrate Lightning payments firmly into the fabric of their internet experience. But I want to take a short moment to talk through some really exciting things that I think are coming to the Lightning specs. So, for example, what we've got a picture on screen of right now is something called route blinding. This is a new feature that we're adding to Lightning invoices that makes it such that if you're receiving payments on the Lightning node, you no longer have to tell the person who's sending you the payment who they're sending the payment to. It lets you have what we call receiver privacy on Lightning. This is a tweet from T-Bast, one of the main authors of the spec proposal. He's tweeting that saying, after about 3 years of the initial version, we've finally taken this new proposal for feature and we've considered it merged into the spec. What does it mean for proposal to be merged into the spec? That means 2 of the 4 implementations have taken the time to take the description of how it should work, implement it, and then check that those 2 independent implementations work together. So this happened for route blinding just this year. It got proposed in 2020, now we're in 2023, and we finally have it where 2 independent implementations can talk together and do route blinding, which is pretty cool. Another really exciting update that's coming to Lightning that we're in the process, so in the spec process, this has been proposed. I believe that L&D has a working is in the process of getting a working implementation, and there's another project that's working really closely with them. So this is a proposal to the specs to add the ability to have channels that use Taproot. This is going to be really important for Lightning because it's going to let us hide some more privacy in terms of when you're routing payments, people's abilities to figure out which payments are related to each other, which is pretty hard to do anyway, but we're going to make it even harder with Taproot. This is just the first step to unlocking a lot of kind of new things that you can do on Lightning. So we're really excited about this update. It should be probably, I don't want to give any timelines of when this might come, but hopefully it'll be here sooner rather than later. Another project that I'm really excited about for Lightning is this proposal to add a feature called splicing to the Lightning network. How many of you guys have heard of splicing before? Is this like new information? Okay, so maybe like 10% of the crowd. What's really cool about splicing is that it gives you this ability to reduce the number of channels that you need to have on Lightning. So basically, it'll update the Lightning protocol to make it such that you can add and remove Bitcoin liquidity to the Lightning network with less numbers of transactions. So it's hopefully going to decrease the amount of transactions you need to make on the base layer to move Bitcoin around on the second layer. So that's really cool. There's a lot of really great things you get. So hopefully this will help us cut down on the number of channels you need in order to send and receive payments effectively. That's really cool because it's going to help us make Lightning less expensive to run in the long term, as well as make it more dynamic in terms of being able to deploy new liquidity to the network at faster speeds, which is really great. So this is really cool. It's currently in draft mode. I've been working with someone on Core Lightning to implement for an implementation, and then the Async guys in France on Eclair have been working on it. So hopefully at some point soon we'll have 2 working implementations that can talk to each other. So this one's coming. Should hopefully be hitting a node near you sometime by the end of the year. Fingers crossed. And then finally, the last update that I wanted to talk through that I'm really excited about is something called offers. This got proposed, I want to say, in 2019, maybe 2020. You might have heard of it as Bolt 12, which is basically it's a new way of doing invoices on Lightning that lets you have a static QR code such that you could put up a QR code for an object and someone could repeatedly pay you for the same item in a store, or maybe send tips to your favorite waiter, and you wouldn't have to worry about generating a new QR code for every payment. So There's a lot of really cool and exciting stuff that's coming to the protocol. There's also some attacks, etc., that we're attempting to or some problems with Lightning. It's not all rosy. So in addition to new features that we're building, we're also attempting to solve some existing known problems with Lightning Network, such as jamming or pinning attacks. These are going to require some L1 improvements before we're able to really kind of solve the problem for Lightning as a whole. And some of these are kind of open-ish research projects that we're working on. We've got really smart devs that are doing it. Right, great. So just to kind of summarize, Lightning is a payment network. It's super decentralized. It's fast becoming the connective tissue of Bitcoin. So this means it's linking together not only nodes on the Lightning Network and payment processors, but also other projects on Bitcoin, such as Fedimints, on-chain payments, privacy solutions such as swaps, and new yet-to-come projects and L2s are more than likely going to be compatible with Lightning, which is great. So Lightning is really going to be, I think, the standard interface for how a bunch of different Bitcoin ecosystem projects will be talking together. It's a huge project, and we definitely, it's an ongoing project. So we're still building on it. We're still working on it. We've still got new features that we've got plans and that we're working on, but there's also lots of open problems that we need help with. So this is a little bit of a call for help. If you're a developer or someone who likes working on cool, interesting, decentralized payment projects, we've got open spec meetings. We'd love to have you show up for them. To do a little bit of a personal plug and kind of end on a final project that I'm working on, as I mentioned at the beginning, I run a Bitcoin protocol school. It's called Base 58. We started last year with a class on how Bitcoin transactions work and how the crypto system that goes into signatures gets implemented into Bitcoin. I wanted to announce that we're going to be launching our first ever Lightning spec class this summer in Nashville, Tennessee, ahead of a Lightning Summit that we're running there. But I'll also be back in Europe in October to do the same class right before Lugano's Plan B in Switzerland. So I really hope that you'll join us, learn more about Lightning, either through a class like this one at a school or just by looking into what's available online or showing up at our spec meetings that we have every other week on Monday. That's all I've got for you. Thank you again. I hope to see you guys around Prague. Cool.